The Kia Seltos Sport Plus is as good looking as ever and offers families who might be tight on space an affordable small SUV. The accessories and features have been beefed up to keep up with the market, which makes it a firm competitor against the likes of the Honda HR-V and Mazda CX-30. I've been driving this for the last week with my family of 3. Let's see how it performed. There are 4 models to choose from, and in the top 3 grades you can also get all-wheel drive variants. Our model is roughly in the middle and is a front-wheel drive, and it will cost you around $36,000 before on-road costs. And for the features and the stylish presence, that's pretty competitive for the market. Some of the highlights include a beautiful panoramic display on the dash that houses the 10.25-inch multimedia system and 10.25-inch digital instrument panel. You also have 17-inch alloy wheels and wired Apple CarPlay. There hasn't been a massive change of design in this edition. It still maintains a sexy, compact body styling that has just enough puff to warrant that SUV tag. The overall curbside impression, sharp and stylish. The features list has been tweaked though. Some safety items which used to be a part of an optional pack are now just standard, and the tech has been upgraded in some areas, but I was surprised that it no longer has wireless Apple CarPlay. The interior showcases quite a bit of hard plastics, but it's nice and pleasing to look at. The crumpled look speakers add some personality and fun, but the real draw card is the panoramic display, which just really elevates the interior. The headroom and legroom is fine for me, but I'm only 168 centimeters tall, or 5'6". The elbow room is a little bit tight in this, and you do feel like you're kind of knocking into the doors. But overall, it's actually roomier than quite a few other small SUVs. The storage is pretty average for a car of this size, but I did love how deep the middle console is and this phone storage pocket at the front. You have a USB-C and A port and 12-volt port, so everyone can stay charged up on a roadie. The multimedia system is easy to use, the graphics look great, and it's not laggy. This also has wired Android Auto, which is fantastic for those phone users as well. I like the wide door apertures and the lower profile height of this car. It made it easy for my 6-year-old to climb in and out of this week. Now the headroom and legroom are okay for me, but it might be a bit of a squeeze if you're sitting behind a taller driver. You have ISOFIX child seat mounts on the outboard seats, plus 3 top tether anchor points. But realistically, you're only going to get 2 child seats back here. And it can be a little bit snug when a 0 to 4 rearward facing child seat is installed. The amenities though are pretty good back here. You have directional air vents, 2 USB-C ports, a mat pocket, drink bottle holders, and a comfy armrest with 2 cup holders. The back seat is a little bit firm on the backside, and I can imagine that for an adult or an older teen that they will fatigue a lot quicker than a kid will on a longer trip, which is something to consider if you often have older passengers. The boot is a good size. It doesn't have an auto tailgate, but it's not heavy to operate. I love the level load space, and impressively you get a full-size spare wheel underneath the floor. You also have a 40/60 split fold in case you need extra storage space for your gear. Ooh, this was a bit of a mixed experience to drive. On the one hand, the little petrol engine can feel a bit gutless on the open road, where I often redlined the revs just to keep my speed consistent on hills. And then on the other hand, it seems to have okay pickup, meaning I could zip across traffic pretty comfortably in it. Go figure. The Seltos has been tuned in Australia, so I was pretty happy to find that the suspension is good in this, but it can get a little bit floaty in windy weather. The steering is direct and it handles corners well with only a little bit of roll, but the turning circle is fantastic in this, a real plus. Parking this is really easy. It's a compact size, the parking sensors and the reversing camera really makes this your best friend in a Thai car park. The official combined fuel cycle is 6.9 litres per 100 kilometres. Real world testing saw my figure at 7.6 litres. That's after a mix of urban and open road driving, which I actually thought was pretty decent given how much I had to wring out from the engine this week. I think this will suit people who prioritise fuel economy over performance. The standard safety kit on the Sports Plus is pretty good, with AEB, forward collision warning, with car, pedestrian, cyclist and junction turning detection, as well as blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert and rear occupant alert, which is always good to have when you have little ones around. I do have to mention the speed limit warning system because annoyingly, Kia have added quite a few sound alerts to this car. And one of them is for the speed limit warning, which by itself is not annoying. But when they're all sounding out at the same time, it can get a little bit too much and it can feel like the car is yelling at you, which I personally didn't like. Beep, beep, beep. Ah! This only has 6 airbags and 5-star ANCAP safety rating, but it was from testing done a little while ago in 2019. The Seltos comes with Kia's 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which is better than the average for the market. It has a 7-year cap price servicing program and services average $434, which is quite competitive for the class. Servicing intervals are also reasonable at every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres, whichever occurs first. The Kia Seltos Sport Plus is a nicely spec'd package with its safety and tech, but the engine performance was a bit underwhelming for me and I didn't love that beeping. Urban dwellers will benefit the most from the size and handling. I liked that it had a roomier interior than a lot of its rivals, but thought it could have had a plusher aesthetic for where it sits in the model range, so I give this a 7 out of 10. My son didn't gush over this one because of the lack of space in the back seat, but he did love the panoramic display on the dash, so he gives it a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.